Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and thanks for being here. Today we'll be talking about the scope 1, 2 and 3 emissions. If you're still wondering what these emissions are, please click the link showing on the screen right now to watch a simple and short video about greenhouse gases. Once you understand the concept of greenhouse gases, then emissions simply means the release of these gases. If you are new here, please like, share, subscribe, and click the notification button so you are alerted each time a new video drops, simplifying the concepts of carbon sustainability, ESG, and emissions. So, how busy is your life every day, hustling and bustling? Have you ever wondered how your everyday choices impact the earth, impact the environment and the climate? It could be as basic as hopping on a bus or as fun as grabbing a cup of coffee. These activities around grabbing cup of coffee, like I'm thinking about the means of transportation, the electricity used to make the coffee processing from the farm, distribution, the packaging, and all of that. All of these activities emit greenhouse gas, which contributes to climate change. But it's never always clear how these emissions are measured or where they come from. Today, I'll be breaking down the emissions in categories called scopes. Scopes are like categories that help us classify these emissions based on where they come from or their sources. We'll be breaking down this concept to give a better understanding of these emissions and to enable us make more sustainable decisions as a people and as businesses. Think of scopes as different buckets of different types of emissions. We have the scope 1, the scope 2, and the scope 3. Now to our case study. Imagine you own a bakery, or if you own a bakery, congratulations. Whether you love cakes, bread, strawberry cakes, chocolate cakes, whatever it is, our today's analogy is just going to look at all of the activities that happen within running a bakery and identifying the sources of emissions and classifying them into scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. Let's get right into it. Scope 1, these are emissions that you have direct control of. Direct control means you can either start them, initiate them, yeah, or stop them. It could emanate from fuel combustions as a result of your delivery van. When I say delivery van, I mean the one you own, not the one you rented from, or not the one you contracted to someone else, your own delivery van. It could be on-site generators that you're using to operate your business. If you have a very large bakery, moving flour or moving sugar from one point to the other, maybe you're using the forklift to do that part of the task. Those are the kind of activities that can generate emissions. Second one is maybe processes on site, the emissions from the baking oven, the boilers, or the baking equipment. We also have fugitive emissions. These are like leaks, refrigerants from cooling systems. The next scope is the scope 2. Scope 2 are scopes that you don't have control of, but you're responsible for because they are linked to your business. They are linked to you. The most common type of scope 2 emission is emissions from purchased electricity. So as long as you are buying electricity, as long as your business is linked to a grid, your electricity supply comes from a source and you pay for it. This means that the emission that happens at that point of electricity generation is your scope 2 emissions. There's no too much talk about scope 2. This is just what it is. The next and the most complex of them all is scope 3. These are all other indirect emissions across the supply chain. Every emission that is not categorized in scope 1 or scope 2 is a scope 3 emission. It's a very complex topic, but today we're going to just have an overview of what it is. So, looking at this bakery now, understand the entire supply chain from the farm to the store to the homes that consume. So, let's start with the farming. Farming wheat could require fueling tractors and applying fertilizer to grow the wheat. It could also mean harvesting. It could also include harvesting and processing of the wheat, taking it to the mills, the transport of these grains to the mills. emits some form of greenhouse gases. Within operations, you buy your ingredients packaged. So packaging of those ingredients that you use in your bakery emits some sort of emissions comes from it. When you're done baking, the packaging that you use for your products also the processes also emit some form of greenhouse gas. Then you talk about the baking equipment, the emissions from the life cycle of the oven equipment, from manufacturing to maintenance to the expiration or to the breakdown. Yes, those are also scope 3 emissions. Then you look at the retail shop. Imagine you have an outlet, or you have another person you supply bread to, or you supply stuff to. Emissions from energy used in those stores, either is a store lighting or preservation. Those are scope 3 emissions. Consumption. So I love to toast bread. As long as I'm toasting my bread, my the emission that comes as a result of me toasting the bread is a scope 3 emission for the bakery I bought the bread from. Yes, disposal of the bread packaging. So once I dispose my bread packaging, the entire waste management process, emissions that emanate from it, this is a scope 3 emission for the bakery. Other forms of scope 3 emission could be transportation of the employees of the bakery to the business and back to their homes. It could also mean that the business is online, the bakery is online, and people's orders are being delivered by a third-party contractor, a courier or delivery company. All of the emissions that emanate from that activity is a scope 3 emission for the bakery business. So that's all about scope 3, but this is just the basic of scope 3. So while you subscribe, just keep looking out for more videos that break down the scope 3 emission, and I promise I'll drop that. So in all of this, we've explored three scopes and how they help us understand the different types of emissions. Scope 1 and 2 are easier to measure and control, while scope 3 requires a broader look at the entire value chain. Understanding all scopes is crucial for businesses so that they can make informed decisions and take steps towards a more sustainable future. Most importantly, by understanding your own carbon footprints and making conscious choices every day, you can play a big role in reducing emissions and creating a positive impact on the planet. Thank you very much again for joining me. Please let me know in the comment section what you're doing to fight climate change. And remember, every small change can make a big difference. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more awesome content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.